Hello, thank you so much for joining me today for yoga. I'm so excited that we're on location here at this beautiful park with this tree in the background. I don't know about you, but I love nature. I feel great when I'm in nature. Got a nice breeze, got the sunshine on my face, fresh air. So this is going to be a great experience. You can take this practice outside if you want to, or you can have this practice inside. It's really up to you. But we're going to start today's class in a standing position. So as you come into your standing position, let your feet be hip distance. So when you look down to your feet, there's enough space for one more foot of yours there. Next, we'll bring our arms by our sides, and we'll just tuck our chin towards our chest. Now, as you bring your chin towards your chest, feel a nice deep stretch at the back of the neck. Continue to hold here if you feel enough sensation. Or you can start to bring your right ear above your right shoulder, and then as you exhale, take your left ear above your left shoulder. So you're inhaling to one direction and exhaling to another direction. Just taking half circles, giving your neck some attention, allowing yourself to take a longer hold if you need to on any side, or maybe you take a longer hold on both sides. Totally up to you. We'll start to even the sides out, eventually making our way back to center, bringing the chin towards the chest. Inhale, we're going to lift the chin, gaze forward. Now from here, on your next inhale breath, lift your shoulders up to your ears. Exhale, take your shoulders back and down. And again, inhale, shrug the shoulders up. Exhale, take the shoulders back and down. We'll take a few more. Notice how this feels. Each time you take the shoulders up, back, and down. Just let any stress melt away, rolling off your back. And the next time the shoulders come up, back, and down, just set the shoulders away from the ears. Notice the foundation at your feet, rooted down to the earth and rising up through the crown of the head. You might take a micro bend with the knees and then pull the belly button towards the spine. This is going to feel safer and more comfortable for your low back. Simply notice your breath. Notice if there's space to lengthen the breath. Inhale all the way to the top of the breath, taking in as much air as possible. And as you exhale, release the air slowly, taking your time. With each inhalation, taking in fresh, clean, new air. And with each exhalation, releasing stale, stagnant energy. The power of nature is so beautiful, so grounding, so free. Stand in your power. Stand in your truth. If the eyes are closed, start to flutter them open, coming back into the space, noticing the beautiful surrounding that you're in. On your next inhale, arms rise up, fingertips towards the sky. Now as you exhale, bring your left arm forward, right arm back. Keep the hips facing forward. Inhale, arms rise up. Exhale, left arm back, right arm forward. Inhale, back to center. Each time we exhale, we're going to twist just the arms opposite direction. Focus on keeping the hip points facing forward like headlights on a car. All right, one more time on each side. Also see if you can keep the shoulders as forward as possible, even though the arm's coming back. Inhale, lift the fingers up, find length. And then exhale, let the arms float down. Now, bring your feet together so that the big toes meet. And as the big toes meet, just create a little space between the heels. Now the legs are together. Give yourself a moment to feel grounded with this setup. From here, we'll come into a side body stretch. Inhale, arms rise up, palms meet, fingers interlace. Send the fingers up. Arms are straight, ears are between the biceps. Now, as you exhale, lean your arms over to one side. Send the hips to the opposite side. Hold and breathe. You can keep the hands connected, or you can lower the bottom arm. This is up to you. Whatever you decide, continue to reach. Make sure the heart is open. You might even gaze up to the sky. Feel a nice stretch at the side body. And then switching it up on the next inhale, arms rise up, straight arms. Exhale, take it to the other side. Now, as the arms fold over to the other side, hips move in the opposite direction. Deep stretch for the side body. Remember, you've got the option to drop the bottom arm. If so, reach through the fingertips. You decide. Maybe gazing up to the sky, but if that hurts your neck, you can look down to the earth. Inhale, arms rise up. Now, as you exhale, hinge at the hips. Come into a standing forward fold. So you might take your feet back to hip distance. If your hamstrings are tight, you can bend your knees. Your hands can grab opposite elbows, framing your head with your arms. So knees bent if the hamstrings are tight, legs straight if the hamstrings are more open. Maybe you shake the head left to right to left, to remind yourself to completely relax the head and the neck. In our standing forward fold, we're stretching the back of the body. This is a nice posture to incorporate if you need some relaxation in your life. When we take the hands to the elbows, we get more traction for the spine. So we're able to decompress the spine. Now, if your hands are at your elbows, release. Inhale, take a half lift. Bring your palms to your shins. Pause here. Take your hands to your hips. And on your next inhale, slowly come up. Crown of the head rising up to the sky. Now, because we opened our feet to hip distance in our standing forward fold, now we're going to bring the feet back together because we're going to come into a balanced posture called tree pose. This is the perfect opportunity to do tree pose because we've got this beautiful, magnificent tree in the background. So if you've never done tree pose, or if you know that this is one that challenges your balance, you might scoot yourself over to a wall space so that you can present one hand there for support. If you need to, you don't have to. This is just an option. If you're comfortable coming into the balance in the free space, then you can sit where you are. So feet are together, big toes meet. One foot is going to stay rooted down into the earth, imagining that grounded leg as a tree trunk. Now, the opposite foot can stay toes down on the ground, or you can lift your arch of your foot to your calf muscle. Make sure that you're not pressing your foot to your knee. Now, this is a standing balance, but we've got the knee, the bent knee, splayed out to the side. So this is also a hip opener. We've got external rotation. Now your hands might come to your hips, or you might bring your hands to your heart center. If you decide that you're really stable here and you want to take it further, you can reach your hand to connect to your ankle and then press the sole of your foot to your inner thigh. The more you press these two together, the more stability you're going to have. So really pressing your standing foot to the earth, grounding down through that foot, imagining this foundational leg as a big, strong tree trunk. And then maybe you play around with where your hands are. So if you're comfortable with your hands at your heart center, you might start to lift the arms up, growing your tree branches. And if this feels really easy for you and you need more of a challenge, you might close your eyes and bring your gaze inward. Opening your eyes whenever you need to. It'll feel like a totally different sensation. Modifying anytime you need, listening to your body. And we'll start to come out. Now, because we held that for a while on the foundational foot, we're going to lift the heel of the foot that was just the standing leg, and we're going to draw circles with the knee. This way you're going to feel a nice stretch at the arch of your foot, and then you might circle around opposite direction. Now we're going to do that on the other side. So because the heel's already lifted, you might decide if you want to stay with your toes tapping down, or if you know that you want to take it higher and you did on the other side, try it on this side. Remember, you can take one hand to a wall space anytime you need support. If you don't have a wall because you're outside in nature like I am, then maybe you scooch over towards a tree trunk or something like that. So just suss out your environment, see what you have to work with. Let yourself be creative. Now, if you want, you can lift your toes and bring the arch of your foot to your calf muscle. Remember, the knee is splayed out. External rotation for the hip while we're in the standing balance. Hands can be at the hips. Your hand might assist bringing the sole of your foot to your inner thigh. Feel it out. You might notice if one side feels different than the other. This is my more wobbly side, but that's okay. I'm just going to have the experience and feel it out, and maybe take my hands to my heart center. Because I'm a little more wobbly on this side, I'm not going to fly my arms and grow my tree branches, but you might want to do that if that feels stable in your practice. And then you might even close your eyes if you need more of a challenge. You decide. Enjoy the posture. Feel that standing foundational foot working hard, supporting your entire body. Now, if the eyes are closed, open them. If the arms are lifted, bring them back down. We'll bring our hands to our hips. Exhale, drop the foot down. Now lift the heel of the standing foot, come onto the toes, draw circles with the knee, feel it in the arch of the foot, and then take it opposite direction. All right, so both feet are now grounded. Let's take them to hip distance. We want to distribute the weight equally between both legs. Now, if you're the type of body, not person, but if you have the type of body that holds a lot of stress at the feet, one thing that I really like to do is to take a lacrosse ball or a tennis ball or maybe even a golf ball, but that's a really intense option, to roll the arch of your foot on from a standing position with pressure, because that is like giving yourself a nice massage to break up tension. So if you have that in your space, you might incorporate that after your practice. For now, we're going to give our legs and our feet a rest, and we're going to come back into the upper body, specifically the shoulders and arms. So starting off with our arms by our sides, inhale, reach the fingers out, opposite directions. Exhale, cross the right arm over the left, bend the elbows. Now, see if the hands don't meet, that's okay. Focus on keeping the shoulders low and just lift your elbows. Now, as you lift your elbows, notice the sensation that you're feeling at the shoulders and the upper back. Just hold and breathe. On your next exhale, lower the elbows down, unwind the arms, inhale, reach the fingers out. Exhale, cross the left arm over the right, bend the elbows, interlace the forearms, see if the palms meet. Now focus on keeping the shoulders down, just lift the elbows. Let's find a micro bend in the knees, hold the lift, and just breathe. Come back to your breath awareness. One more round of breath. Exhale, lower the elbows, unwind the arms. Inhale, reach the fingers out. And then exhale, lower the hands down. Back to our standing position, Tadasana. This is our mountain pose. As we stand in our power, the feet are grounded. The knees have a micro bend. The shoulders are above the hips. And the ears are above the shoulders. The crown of the head is rising up. Standing in your truth. Noticing the sensations around you. Maybe bringing the gaze inward, closing the eyes. I'm especially enjoying the wind on my face. Birds chirping. Simply practice presence from where you're standing. One more round of breath. Flutter the eyes open. Now we're going to take a wider stance. So the feet are going to go much wider than hip distance, but not so much that you feel out of control or like your legs are going to split apart. Now when you look down to your feet, send the toes out, heels. Take your palms to your thighs and then bend the knees deeply so you're sitting back. Now, ideally, we want the arms to be straight, but you don't want to lower the hips more than the knees. So if you feel like you want to, you can lift your toes, see how that feels. Here at center, we'll take an inhale breath. Now, as we exhale, we're going to dip that right shoulder to center. Inhale, bring the torso to center. Exhale, left shoulder dips. So each time we come to center on an inhale breath, and each time we twist is an exhale breath on the opposite direction. Evening out the sides, coming back to center, press your feet to the ground, straighten the legs. Give the thighs a little break, but keep the feet wide, just as they are now. Now, open your arms up, fingertips towards the sky. So your body's in the shape of a star. Feel the power in your body in this standing position. Taking this posture of receiving, of being, of standing in your truth, in your practice today. What does it feel like to stand in your truth? What does it feel like to stand strong? Now we're going to start to bend the knees and the elbows at the same time, and then we'll re-lengthen the limbs. And we're going to do that a couple more times. Each time we bend the knees, feel the thighs strengthening. Come back to standing. Another full round of breath, standing in your power, reaching your fingertips up towards the sky, rooting the feet down to the earth. Exhale, float the arms down. Now, really carefully, start to heel toe the feet towards each other. Take your time. If you've got some sticks in the way, like I do, you might just lift the feet to bring them back together. All right, so when we did our standing forward fold, we were stretching the back of the body. So from here, figure out how you want to have your feet. This is your personal choice. You can have your feet hip distance, or you can have your feet together. Try both, see what feels more stable. Now, you're going to take your hands to your glutes as if you're putting your hands in your jeans pockets. So your palms are at your glutes. See if you can bring your elbows towards each other. And as you do this, press your hips forward, open your heart to the sky. Gaze up without dropping your head back. If you feel compression in the low back, lift up through the heart. Continue to press the hips forward. Front of the body opens, heart opens, cultivating love and compassion. And then slowly start to come out, lifting the shoulders above the hips, ears above the shoulders, and drop the arms down by your sides. Now, stretching the quads. We'll shift the weight to one foot. The opposite foot is going to lift, so that knee bends. Now here we'll take the same side hand to grab onto the foot. If your hand does not reach your foot, you can use a strap, a belt, a scarf, maybe even a rolled up towel. And then just think about how much sensation you want or need. So you should be feeling a nice deep stretch, but not to the point of pain or major discomfort. On the next exhale, we'll release the foot, lower it back down to the earth, shift the weight equally between both legs, take a full round of breath. Inhale through the nostrils, exhale, open the mouth, big sigh of relief. Now shifting the weight to the opposite foot. We're going to lift the other foot, bend the knee, see if you can connect hand to foot. Take your time to get there. This is where you might incorporate your strap if you need to. Notice how this side feels as you hold, breathe, and stretch. And on your next exhale, release the foot, lower it down to the earth. Shift the weight, distribute it between both legs. Bring your arms by your sides, micro bend in the knees. Pull the belly button towards the spine. Mountain pose, Tadasana. Just find your breath. Stay with your breath. Stand in your power. Notice the elements and this experience that you're having in your body. Knowing that when we give attention to our body, we also allow the emotions to shift, releasing stagnation. Now from here, lift your hands. Think about bringing your wrist in line with your shoulders. Interlace your fingers. As you inhale, lift the arms up just like we did before. And as you exhale, release the arms. Bring them behind your back. Reconnect. Inhale, lift the fist up. Feel the shoulder blades squeezing together. Exhale, lower down. Take the arms forward. Inhale, arms rise up. Exhale, release, take it behind. Movement following the breath, allowing ourselves an opportunity to find mobility for the shoulders and at the same time get a nice big heart opener. Couple more rounds. All right, last round, we're almost there. Shoulders might be feeling like they're getting tired, but it's all good. We're building strength. We're challenging our body. Release. Now shake out the shoulders. Okay, so for some of us, these postures might be a little more gentle. For some of us, they might be challenging. This just really depends because we all have different bodies. But something I want you to think about doing, maybe even trying doing, or maybe you just watch me if you're not comfortable doing it yet, but it feels so good, is we're just gonna find some free movement. So when we bounce and we allow ourselves to bounce around and just shake out the arms and shake out the legs, this is good for the joints. It's also good for your heart. It brings so much joy. So maybe you start off just making the arms wild and using all the space around you. Maybe you're taking circles. Maybe you're doing a figure 8. Maybe you have no pattern at all, but just let the arms move. Maybe you start to incorporate the legs. So maybe you take the feet wider and start drawing circles with the hips. Deciding how far you want to take the hips back. And then switching the direction. Now we're going to slow the circles, bring the hips back to center, scoot the feet closer together, and then we might shake out each leg. Out. Notice when you're shaking things out, you're letting tension go, letting stress go, having a good old time in your awesome body. Let yourself have fun. This is your practice. This is the only body you're going to have in this lifetime, in this human experience. Who cares what you look like? Just have fun. Feel your body move and groove, and then slowly come to center. Take the feet back to hip distance. Once you feel stable there, your arms can stay by your sides, or you might bring one hand to your heart center and the opposite hand on top. Close your eyes. As you bring your gaze inward, feel your big, beautiful heart. Notice the energy that you've created with your movement, with your intention of being here now for your practice. Holding the hands in this position, inhale deeply, feel the chest expand with so much love and compassion. Exhale, feel the chest soften. Inhale, taking in fresh, clean, new air. Exhale, release stale, stagnant energy. Inhale to the top of the breath. Exhale, big sigh of relief. Let it go. Now you can decide if you want to continue to breathe in that way, or maybe you just find your way to your natural breath, the way that you breathe without force or control. Continuing to stand in your power, in your truth, grounding down through the feet, rising up through the crown of the head. Feeling so much gratitude for yourself, for showing up for your practice. It's an honor for me to be here guiding you today. Namaste.